In this video, we're going to talk about the most convenient Racetam and the most convenient dose method or dose administration of this Racetam. I think one of the things that prevents a lot of folks from, maybe enjoying the entire process of putting together nootropic, their own nootropic capsules and taking them is really convenient. Sometimes it takes a while to weigh things out, put them in capsules, throw them down. And this is the best and most convenient Racetam strategy ever to reach pretty considerable brain function. Coming up. Okay, preliminary stuff out of the way. Running a special on the Cortex Nootropic stack. This is our pre-made stack that basically, look, we figured out that we could combine uridine monophosphate, CDP choline, and artichoke extract in very particular quantities to reach a modafinil-like effect. It's very powerful for most people that take it. The stack's been on the market for a year and a half. It's a total hit. Get it at livecortex.com for what's being called the only pre-made stack that works. Motivation, verbal fluency, mental energy. Imagine firing on all cylinders. Imagine what that's like. Imagine what you can do with that, and then apply that to your inclination to on whether or not you want to make a decision on getting the Cortex stack. If you've been waiting to do it, just pull the trigger, guys. I think you're really gonna love the stack. If you've not tried it, those that have tried a stack, you guys know the drill. It is limitless city. Okay, so also the Smarter, Better, Faster Nootropics guide, which is basically number one. It's the guide that you need to get if you're new to nootropics. You just have to get it. If you're new to this channel, you haven't gotten it, you haven't read it, you have to read it. You have to read it. You have to read it. Nootropic subreddit Reddit. You've got to read it. This will set up the understanding for a lot of what we're going to talk about, but it'll also give you very, very advanced quantities stacks. Number two, if you want an advanced list of massive quantities of advanced lists of nootropic stacks for specific brain states, we get very surgical. Using nootropics is a matter of using them surgically, like a chessboard, sort of like what to take and what quantities for what brain states to apply to what tasks. We break it all down in a very easily digestible way in the Smarter, Better, Faster book. It's a digital book. It's like an ebook, so you can read it on Kindle, iPad, iPhone, whatever mobile device you got, whatever tablet you got, computer, whatever. Get it at livecortex.com. Use the coupon code 5. Get $5 off. Okay. So, along the lines of the Smarter, Better, Faster guide, and by the way, guys, for those of you who've been emailing me saying, hey, when's the Racetam guide launching? It's launching on the 12th. So today's the 10th. So this thing's launching in 2 days. Today's, I think, Thursday. It's launching on Saturday. That's a Racetam God guide. All the major Racetams, what you can stack them with, what you can take, how you can take them sublingually. Very, very powerful. Look out for that. We'll do a video. We'll do a launch. You guys can get it at livecortex.com. Same price point as SBF. It might be $1 more. It might be $25. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, look, nootropics are awesome, right? Everybody that comes into the world understands, wow, this is incredible. I can improve neurotransmitter functionality, receptor site functionality, and therefore these high top level brain functions, verbal fluency, mental energy, speed of processing, motivation, mental fluidity, all the focus, all this kind of stuff. But this is one of the industries or one of the disciplines or one of the, I don't know what to call it, one of the things folks might be interested in, methods of quantified self or self-optimization that people really never get sick of, right? It's like nootropics only ascendingly get cooler as you go on. I'm 8.5 years in, and they're more cool now than they were 8 years ago because I just know so much more about them, how they affect my brain, what they've done to my baseline verbal fluency. I only drank a cup of coffee today, guys. I didn't take any nootropics. I have no impediments in my brain, and I fully believe it's because I've been taking nootropics for such a long time. But one of the things that I think folks get a little annoyed about is having to fuss with powder and having to sit in a capsule maker and make capsules every day or every other day or every 10 days if you make bulk capsules at a time. And it just becomes a little inconvenient. There is one way to fix that if you're looking for a Racetam that doesn't require a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of maintenance, that's very convenient to take. And then the larger idea of what is the most convenient nootropic to take? And then breaking it down a little, getting a little more refined, what is the most convenient Racetam to take? The answer is Coluracetam. It's Coluracetam. Okay, so let's first start off by talking about, for those of you who don't know, Coluracetam kind of basics. Coluracetam is different than every other Racetam. It basically forces the brain to take more choline, the B complex B vitamin in the B family, and draw it into neurons. Then it can synthesize acetylcholine, which is very different than other Racetams, which get the brain to use more acetylcholine or release more acetylcholine in memory-centric regions of the brain like the hippocampus. So, as a result, your synthesis of acetylcholine, you know, and your usability of acetylcholine and the capacity for neurons to uptake choline and go through that conversion process to give you that focus, verbal fluency, and working memory neurochemical acetylcholine is enhanced. Now, Examine likes to talk about how that doesn't happen or that may not happen in folks that don't have like choline uptake problems, but I believe that most folks have choline uptake problems to some degree or another at some point throughout the course of their day, and certainly as they age, as neurodegeneration inevitably happens. So that's coluracetam, that's what it does. As a result, most folks get a better focus, a better mental fluidity is sort of the standout effect, like everything just works well. You know, verbal fluency works well because everything's working great. Working memory works well because things are working well. You know, your capacity to have speed of processing especially. When you get a fluid brain, like my brain right now, I mean, again, talk about using nootropics over time, having them benefit you, and then having them, you know, working on neurotransmitters or receptor sites that make the brain function well over time. Having a fluid brain means you can do a lot of things. You're motivated just because your brain works well. So there's a lot of good effects to include an enhancement of your mood that take place when you take coluracetam. So that's kind of the general overview of coluracetam. Dose range is 5 to 40 or so milligrams. Some people go higher, 50 to 100. I don't really suggest that. For most folks, you're not going to need that. You know, my sweet spot is between 5 and 15 milligrams. But that's not why coluracetam is so convenient. It's part of it. And we're going to talk about the most convenient the most convenient racetam nootropic protocol, you know, period. It's a particular protocol. But the reason that coluracetam is so convenient is because, number one, it requires low doses. Number two, it's extremely potent and effective. But number three, you can take it sublingually. That's really the gist of it. Sublingual coluracetam, okay, is the most effective, the most convenient rather, it's highly effective, but it's one of the most convenient racetam nootropic protocols there is. You know, I mean, and here's why, breaking it down to its final component. Weighing 5 milligrams of powder or 10 milligrams of powder or 15 milligrams of powder on a scale, and then taking the powder that's on the scale with like measuring spoons, small little measuring spoons, and then putting them under your tongue and sitting there for 5 minutes, it is the easiest nootropic strategy there is. You know, I mean, it's the easiest, it's the most convenient racetam strategy. You know, it's one of the most potent racetam strategies, nootropic strategies. And literally within 6 minutes, you're done. 6 minutes, you know, you're finished. And really, I mean, you're talking about a minute to really get it going and doing its thing. But then, you know, you sit there, start working, do your thing, you know, watch some TV, you know, look at your phone for 5 minutes or something as the coluracetam dissolves onto your tongue, gets into your bloodstream. That's the strategy. That's what I've come to learn after 8.5 years of taking nootropics as it relates to racetams, that the easiest racetam strategy there is, the most convenient and most effective for its level of convenience racetam strategy is sublingual coluracetam. Okay, so if you've not tried it, grab grab coluracetam from any of these nootropics vendors, Aerotropic, Nootropics Depot, Nootropics Source, some of these other guys, maybe you have some China vendors, whatever, and do it. Make sure you got a milligram scale, weigh it out, you know, carefully and correctly, throw down 5 to 15 milligrams sublingually and go to town. A lot of people, they're not going to need a choline source for this. Some people, you know, may. I don't. A lot of folks don't compared to other racetams. And hey, execute on this thing. But there's no question about it. The most convenient racetam strategy there is, in my experience, in my opinion, is sublingual coluracetam. Thanks for watching.